What's going on, fellas? Now today we're going to be reacting to Stranger Things destroyed its best villain in 6 minutes. I'm done! Apparently this bloke here had a little crash out, so yeah, I'm interested to see his thoughts on the newest season. Obviously the finale of Stranger Things has just released. Mixed feelings, but yeah, let's give it a gaze.
Hey guys, want to know how to massacre your best and scariest villain in 6 minutes or less? Stranger Things taught us how. Let me take you through it. And no, I'm not talking about this guy. Vecna is a and a fraud to the real villain, the real master. Vecna is nothing compared to him. The Mind Flayer.
Bro, that fucking thing is so scary.
The end-all be-all villain, the villain that started it all really before they retconned him to death in season 4. Here's how they did it. 3 stages of neutering in which they destroyed this character and gaslit you into thinking it was okay. And in 6 minutes, they disgraced him completely, and we're gonna break it all down now because Stranger Things is shit! Stage 1, the godly setup, when Stranger Things was actually goated. This is a Lovecraftian eldritch abomination. The moment Will, in his hallucination, sees him coming up from behind the school, lurking at the top, looking down on him. An eldritch being. Let's establish what this creature was when they first introduced him. He's a godly ancient being. He's too old. He doesn't even know where the hell he comes from. He has no pure physical form. He is a psychic being. A shadow. An everlasting shadow. He's like fucking Sauron without a physical form, okay? He can psychically torment and corrupt people. He has high IQ intellect. Keep that in mind. And hive mind control over all creations and creatures within the Upside Down, including everything from demidogs and gorgons to vines. He can possess people with his essence, with his particle essence, okay? Corrupt them to his will. He has genius level fucking IQ. This was seen when he used Will as his perfect weapon. He used Will to manipulate a bunch of soldiers to go somewhere so they could be ambushed by a bunch of demidogs so they can stop burning down the gateway vines that he was opening up. High IQ as fuck. Keep that in mind because they're about to dumb him down later, okay? Weakness is he can't get into our world without specific gates opening up. And you can hold him off with telepathic powers as long as he's behind the gate. And you can close and sever the connection between our reality and his. That's the only way you can really stop him. You cannot physically fight this being. Keep that in mind. Now, when he is closed off, he can still find his way into your world by possessing people, amalgamating their flesh into humps of husk that create this. A spider-like being.
Fucking
a fleshy
yucky
formation
thing,
of what its shadow self is in the other realm, Dimension X and the Upside Down. This can be hurt and destroyed, but that is just one of the many physical manifestations that this creature, this Mind Flayer, can have. Stage 2, the retcon. You were just showed this goated fucking entity, alright? Godlike being. Satan of the entire Stranger Things universe. We're gonna retcon him and say, no, there was another one. There was actually another villain the whole time that actually was the one who started it all. This is where we introduce Vecna in season 4. I love season 4, but this was shite. Great actor who plays Vecna, but still, we need a Voldemort.
Mr. Watson, I like him.
If 11 is Harry Potter, if Will is also Harry Potter, we need a Voldemort. Because the Mind Flayer is not, he's too Lovecraftian, he's too cosmic and otherworldly, he's too badass. So we need a human-esque villain that can take this role up. So we're gonna actually say that, no, before we saw 11, there was actually another dude who was trying to take her powers, who was helping with the Hawkins experiments, and had a huge-ass rivalry with her that she doesn't remember and we didn't even know about. And she defeated him in a fight. Yeah, his origin story is getting his ass whooped by her. How do you think the next battles between them would go? She destroys him so badly, he sends him to another dimension entirely, where he turns into Vecna. His body just becomes mutated and dilapidated. That's where he meets the Mind Flayer and forms the physical form of the Mind Flayer that we would see, the spider eldritch form. Yeah, the mystery of why does he look like that? Why does he have a shadow like that? Oh no, it was told to us because Vecna basically saw a cloud of particles and said, "Oh, it'd be cool because I love spiders and I want to bang them so badly. Let me form them into a spider-like entity. I'm gonna use them to get revenge on a little girl who kicked my ass."
Shit!
Fuck!
Chill!
Fuck all of you! Fuck everyone who allowed this to happen. Fuck the Duffers. Fuck all the producers and the writers that allowed this shit to happen, this retcon of the high
Yo!
death. If I catch you on the street, it's over. So Vecna was the one who took Will and did everything.
Shit! Fuck, don't get on this guy's wrong side, boys. You might be finished.
All right,
I'm
he
saying
might have been working with the Mind Flayer, but he is
nice
really the big
and
boss of
clear
it
of
all.
him.
He's the one that Eleven will be facing off against when it's all said and done.
But this guy's a
He
menace.
is the true Voldemort. If this shit is Hogwarts, if Hawkins School and all this shit is Hogwarts, he is Voldemort. Nothing else matters. We're gonna forget about the Mind Flayer. Because Vecna is the only real G. And the only point of connection between them that establishes who's the real boss is in a fucking play that 90% of the audiences haven't even seen yet. And we're not going to mention it until the final episode. Dog shit! This does introduce the saving grace, Vecna's true origin. Who's really in control here? When he enters the cave and finds that stone, and it literally is a piece of the Dimension X, the Mind Flayer is corrupting him through dimensions out here. Find me, he says. This cloud of particles says find me, and it corrupts Vecna. He was the first. Will wasn't the first, it was Vecna. So Vecna is a puppet just like all these other possessed kids. That's the saving grace of that. Now we're like, okay, now the Mind Flayer really was a big bad. I can't wait to see what he's going to do now. I can't wait to see how the kids are going to face off against this being. That brings us to stage 3, philosophical castration, as I call it. Because this is not just a physical neutering of the highest order. This is metaphysical, symbolic, philosophical, epistemological, whatever the fuck you want to call it, whatever word. This is all of that.
Bro, I don't even know what
words
words are getting said right now.
Modern movies love doing this. The Mind Flayer takes the form of a spider kaiju who's interconnected to Vecna to the point where they're both physically vulnerable as fuck. His physical form has formed a hive mind to Vecna, right? This hive mind has been established for years now, okay? Ever since season 4 when it was told to us, okay? If Vecna goes, the Mind Flayer goes. This is something that we didn't know. You see, for some odd reason, Vecna and the Mind Flayer say, okay, cool. We're going to join so badly with each other that whatever happens to one happens to the other. Remember in season 2 when burning the vines caused Will pain because the hive mind interconnected all these beings? But that doesn't necessarily mean it does damage to the Mind Flayer. Remember, the Mind Flayer is a shadow of particles. He's not flesh that can be hurt. If that was the case, then when the Russians had that machine that would open the gate and were opening a gate to the Upside Down with all the vines in it, when Hopper destroyed it and bombed himself to death at the end of season 3, it should have probably caused a lot of damage to beings on the other side like Vecna and the Mind Flayer, but it didn't.
Even when Steve and the kids set fire to the upside-down pathways and it caused Will a bunch of pain and ultimately led to the destruction of many demidogs, the Mind Flayer in the Upside Down in Dimension X did not die as a result of this. Even if he is hive mind connected, he controls the hive. He should not die as a result of his own hive mind. Only the victims that he is connected can be.
The Mind Flayer's life is not bound to the hive mind like that. Vecna met the Mind Flayer, and because the Mind Flayer wanted him to and allowed it, Vecna started a hive mind that would link all these creatures because it would be easier for him to control the ins and outs. It would be easier for him to create tunnels between the Upside Down and the human world, to send demigorgons and demidogs in, to use Will as a puppet. It doesn't necessarily mean, oh, we're bound now, so the Mind Flayer is going to die if anything happens to one of these creatures, or even Vecna. Fucking idiots. He doesn't need it to survive. He never needed the hive mind to survive. He used it as a tool, as a weapon to expand, not to survive. How did you forget your own lord, Duffer brother idiots? He's a cosmic eldritch being. You think one dude getting stabbed to death and impaled is going to cause this dude to die physically? This particle being is going to, collapse? This cloud of particles is going to collapse. These cloud of particles that can be in any possessed being throughout this dimension. Why would a creature like this decide to do the stupidest low IQ tactic imaginable and say, you know what, I'm going to bind my life force to my puppet Vecna? Because if he dies, I die. Even though I know he's extraordinarily weak compared to me because I'm a Lovecraftian eldritch being and he's just a fucking dude with powers who looks ugly as shit. Why would he do that?
Fucking hell.
And now he's just a giant physical being that's dumb as fuck because, oh yeah, I'm going to go chase Nancy. I know she's really pretty. I would probably chase her too if I was a creature, but there's a difference between me and the Mind Flayer. I'm a dude who's horny and likes these pretty women. The Mind Flayer is a Lovecraftian eldritch being who should probably rip her in half. Well, with one stare at her. Remember how smart this dude was. He used Will to manipulate a bunch of soldiers to get sabotaged by demidogs. But with this, in this scene, I'm gonna follow Nancy into this random crevice where these other kids somehow in 1 minute's time climb up these large hills and are flanking me with grenades and fire. I'm gonna chase these creatures, even though I should probably be away from them so I can give him the best fighting chance to collide these worlds. How low IQ did you turn into, Mind Flayer? Oh no. The writers did it. You went from Eldritch Shadow with high IQ to dumbass kaiju that can be hurt by fire and bullets. You went from this. This is something out of like an SCP or a creepypasta, man. Look
Yeah,
at
that
it,
shit
man.
is so
Fuck.
creepy.
And you turned it into a dumb spider kaiju. You nerfed him that badly. Realistically, what would happen is that spider kaiju would try to fight the kids. Vecna would die. The spider kaiju would collapse, and then the smoke form would come out because that's the real form, not some dumb, stupid physical form that can be hurt by bullets. And then that shadow form would come out, possess half the kids, and use them to genocide the rest in their entire bloodlines. That's what would happen realistically. 11, you don't stand a chance. Oh, let me hurl rocks with my telepathy at this giant spider. Good luck doing that to a fucking shadow.
Yeah.
Imagine trying to fight the Void. Imagine if Sentry's the Void was a spider being. That's exactly what this is, pretty much. Maybe not as powerful, but still. There was one way you could have won against the Mind Flayer. After killing Vecna, let's say the 11 and the kids managed to defeat Vecna by themselves. Mind Flayer's a different entity. They can't fight that being physically. The only way to beat him is to collapse the wormhole between our world and his so we can sever the connection. That's it. That's what they did. Unfortunately, they decided to kill the Mind Flayer before that, physically. In the most lame nerfing ever. You could have just narrowly escaped from the Mind Flayer while he's chasing you, and then you can just sever the connection right there. That's how you could have beat him. Why did you have to shoot him with AK-47s? Don't kill a being like this. No kid has any business with a slingshot fighting this being. Are you fucking stupid? Just sever the connection between our world and his permanently. That's the ultimate way to win.
Oh, no.
Why do you have to kill him? Why do you have to nerf this guy down to the point where little kids can beat him? Oh, I have a baseball bat. I have a flamethrower. I have a machine gun. Let's go fight the devil. In my head canon, he's still alive. I don't give a fuck. I have a whole theory about this, by the way, that I'll make in an upcoming video. But that's my head canon. I don't give a shit. The Duffer Brothers are frauds. I heard that their wife ghost wrote a lot of the good episodes too, and they didn't do shit. That would really explain a lot. I don't want to accuse anyone and everything. I did no defamation here. None. But the Duffer Brothers have been trying to cover up their plot holes in interviews, post-mortem interviews after the end of Stranger Things, and they've been failing miserably, epically at it. The Mind Flayer and Vecna didn't decide to have an army of demigorgons protecting their lair because no one could have thought that these guys would have made it to Dimension X and come here. No way Vecna would have thought that, even though he literally searched into Hopper's mind, searched into Will's mind multiple times. This dude can read minds, and he couldn't figure that out? How about the Mind Flayer, who has hive mind connection to every single being on Earth? He can't see these kids coming a mile away with a demi-bat or a demi-dog there, even though we know they exist in this dimension. Dumb fucking writers. This should tell you guys. I think these guys just got really lucky with Season 1. I ain't trying to talk shit. I think they got really lucky with Season 1. Season 2, they got lucky with coming up with this creature. And then after that, they just fucking didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Fuck all this. Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, we
Far out. I mean, he's definitely not very happy, to say the least. Hikey, valid crash out though. Like, the way he puts it, yeah, nah, the finale, or just Season 5, it didn't make no fucking sense realistically, did it? Or even Season 4, like, Mind Flayer was fucking insane, bro, and then it just, yeah. Bro got nerfed hard out. Bro got a hard nerf. How unfortunate. It was like nerfing Johnny and TCM. Well, Nancy. Anyone. Anyway, cheers for watching, fellas. If you're new, subscribe. If you enjoyed, make sure you leave a thumbs up. And I'll catch you fellas next time.